The lights inside the arena burn white and hot, cutting through the low hum of anticipation that fills the air long before the first bell ever rings. Atlanta, Georgia is alive tonight, not just with noise, but with the feeling that something historic is about to unfold. This is not a routine main event. This is the kind of night boxing fans talk about years later, lowering their voices as if the memory itself still carries electricity. Two fighters from different eras, shaped by entirely different philosophies of combat, are about to collide in a way that feels almost unreal. The announcer's voice booms across the arena, steady and ceremonial, introducing the challenger first. From the blue corner comes a man forged in knockouts and patience, a fighter who has made a career out of ending nights abruptly and violently. Gervonta "Tank" Davis does not waste motion, words, or punches. His record speaks with brutal clarity, an undefeated run built on timing, precision, and an almost chilling calm under pressure. He walks to the ring with the confidence of someone who believes, truly believes, that at some point the fight will end on his terms. It always seems to. Then the moment shifts. The energy changes. The crowd rises not just to its feet, but emotionally, pulled upward by the presence of a living legend. Manny Pacquiao steps forward, and time itself feels heavier. This is not simply another former champion chasing relevance. This is boxing history, walking under the lights. The only 8-division world champion the sport has ever known. A man whose name is synonymous with speed, fury, and fearless offense. Wins, losses, titles, eras, generations, all seem to trail behind him as he enters the ring, carrying decades of memories with every step. What happens when a fighter built on relentless motion and volume meets a fighter engineered to punish mistakes with surgical brutality? That question hangs over the ring like a storm cloud. Manny Pacquiao versus Gervonta Davis is not just a fight. It is a philosophical argument made with fists. Speed versus power. Chaos versus calculation. Legacy versus inevitability. This is not fantasy. This is the kind of matchup that forces boxing to look at itself and ask whether the old rules still apply. Pacquiao's career has always defied conventional logic. From the very beginning, he fought like a man trying to outrun time itself. His style was built on angles that didn't exist on paper, on footwork that felt more instinctive than technical, and on combinations that arrived before opponents even realized he was in range. As a southpaw, Pacquiao attacked from blind spots, darting in and out, never stationary, never predictable. He overwhelmed opponents not just physically, but mentally, forcing them to fight at a pace they could not control. What made Pacquiao truly terrifying in his prime was not just how fast he was, but how long he could stay fast. Round after round, the pressure never faded. Fighters didn't just lose to Pacquiao, they drowned under him. Even elite champions found themselves stuck in survival mode, swinging at shadows while Pacquiao piled up punches from impossible angles. His offense was not methodical. It was explosive, emotional, and relentless, fueled by momentum and crowd energy. But that same aggression carried risk. Pacquiao has always been a fighter who trusted movement over guard, angles over caution. He attacked in bursts, and in those bursts, there were moments, brief but real, where his forward momentum could be used against him. Precision punchers who could time those entries found opportunities. Against a fighter like Gervonta Davis, those opportunities become life-threatening. Tank Davis is the embodiment of modern efficiency. He does not rush. He does not panic. He does not fight to look busy. He fights to end things. His power is not wild or reckless. It is compact, deliberate, and devastating. His left hand, especially as a counter, has ended fights with frightening suddenness. 1 second an opponent is winning a round. The next they are on the canvas trying to remember how they got there. What separates Tank from many power punchers is his patience. He is comfortable losing rounds, comfortable being outworked, comfortable letting the fight breathe while he downloads information. Every jab he blocks, every combination he slips, every angle he watches becomes data. By the time he commits fully, he knows exactly where the opening will appear, and when it does, he does not miss. This is what makes the matchup so dangerous for Pacquiao. Tank is not a brawler chasing chaos. He thrives when opponents give him patterns to study, when they repeat movements under pressure. Pacquiao's brilliance has always come from controlled chaos, but chaos still has rhythm, and rhythm, eventually, can be timed. From the opening bell, the contrast in styles would be unmistakable. Pacquiao would come out fast, bouncing on his toes, darting laterally, firing combinations in rapid bursts. His goal would be to overwhelm Tank early, to keep him resetting, to deny him the stillness he needs to time counters. The punches would not all land clean, but they wouldn't need to. Activity itself becomes a weapon, stealing rounds and forcing Tank to fight at Pacquiao's tempo. Tank, meanwhile, would remain composed. High, guard up, feet planted, eyes locked. He would absorb information, not damage. Each Pacquiao flurry would tell a story. How Manny exits, which side he favors, how long he stays in range, where his head moves after the last punch. These details would matter more than the early scorecards. As the rounds progress, the fight would begin to evolve. Tank's bodywork would become a critical factor. He is one of the most effective body punchers in the sport, especially against aggressive fighters. A single clean shot to the ribs can change the geometry of a fight. Pacquiao's speed, his greatest weapon, depends on explosiveness. Take even a fraction of that away, and the margins shrink dangerously. Pacquiao would still be landing more punches overall, still dictating pace, but the weight of Tank's shots would start to tell a different story. Judges might favor activity, but the audience would feel the shift. Every counter would land with intention. Every exchange would feel heavier. The risk in Pacquiao's entries would grow with each round. Mentally, this is where the fight becomes a chess match. Pacquiao has always thrived on emotion, on momentum, on feeding off the crowd. When the pace is high and the fight feels wild, he becomes more dangerous. Tank, on the other hand, wants the opposite. He wants the fight to slow, to narrow, to become about moments instead of minutes. That clash of mentalities defines every second in the ring. Ring positioning would play a silent but decisive role. Pacquiao is at his best in open space, where he can explode in and out without obstruction. Tank excels at making the ring feel smaller, subtly cutting off angles without chasing. If Pacquiao finds himself near the ropes or corners too often, the balance of power shifts dramatically. In tight spaces, Tank's precision becomes lethal. Durability and heart would also come into focus. Pacquiao has never been a fighter who folds under pressure. He has been hurt before and responded with fury. Against Tank, that instinct becomes a gamble. Charging forward after being clipped might win a round, or it might walk directly into the punch that ends the fight. Stamina adds another layer of tension. In his prime, Pacquiao could maintain a blistering pace deep into fights. Tank's style relies on explosive bursts rather than constant output, but he only needs one moment of clarity. Pacquiao might be ahead on the cards, controlling the narrative, while Tank waits patiently, knowing that one clean counter could rewrite everything. As the championship rounds approach, the atmosphere would tighten. Every Pacquiao attack would feel riskier. Every Tank counter would draw a collective inhale from the crowd. This is where experience matters, where mental discipline becomes as important as physical ability. Pacquiao has lived in these moments countless times. Tank is still building his legacy in them. There is no dull version of this fight. If Pacquiao wins, it is through relentless pressure, superior footwork, and overwhelming volume that forces Tank into a defensive shell. If Tank wins, it is through patience, timing, and devastating power that punishes even the smallest mistake. There is no scenario where both men coast to a quiet decision. The fight either remains a high-speed tactical battle or ends in sudden violence. Beyond the punches, this matchup represents something larger. It is a conversation between eras, a test of whether speed and volume can still dominate in a sport increasingly defined by precision and power. It reminds us that while boxing evolves, its core truths remain. Speed fades, power lasts, but timing, above all else, decides history. Manny Pacquiao versus Gervonta Davis is more than a fight. It is a moment where legacy stands across from inevitability, where chaos challenges calculation, and where one mistake can change everything. Now it's your turn to weigh in. Who do you believe wins this clash of generations? Speed and legacy, or power and precision? Drop your prediction in the comments. Let the debate begin. And if you enjoyed this kind of deep, story-driven breakdown, make sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications so you never miss what's next.